Okay, Zoe, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and about a couple things. Now, have you ever heard the word integration before? You have? Do you think you know what it means?
Integration.
Integration? Mm-hmm.
When two groups combine.
Excellent. I knew you were smart in science, and now I know you're smart in language arts as well. So when two things kind of combined, okay? So, and sometimes we say that we integrate them, right? If we're in integration or we integrate them, we're just kind of putting two groups in one. So now that we know what integration means, I'm going to ask you a few questions about some integration. So if I say, and what do you think when I say to integrate science and math? What do you think I mean?
Using math formulas to help figure out different things in science.
Okay. Can you think of any examples where math and science get integrated? Or can you think of maybe some examples of when you've talked about science and math or math and science?
Distance divided by time.
Okay.
Can be speed and graphing things.
Okay, excellent. So you've done graphing in just math or just science, or where?
In both.
In both. Okay, so you've used those skills in both classes. Give me some other examples of times that you think that you've studied the same thing in math as you've done in science this year or last year.
When we're finding out the math or...
Okay, so you've covered math in both science and in math? Okay, very good. Now, can you think of any good things about if you had a class where math and science were integrated? What are some good things that would come from that?
You could probably understand both of them better.
Okay.
When you're studying both of them together.
Okay, so can you think of an example maybe where that has happened for you?
Yes. When we did the Oreo lab,
okay,
where we were graphing things, it was easier. When we were now studying about the graphs in science,
okay,
it was easier to understand.
So once you had kind of done the Oreo lab, that helped you understand the graphs more when you went into. So how did that lesson work? Okay, explain to me what happened when we did the Oreo lessons.
We were trying to figure out if double stuffed really were double stuffed, so we had to use the triple beam balance and figure it out and make up our own question and fill in the graphs.
Okay, and then how did that work in math?
We made a PowerPoint to explain how the whole scientific method worked out, and then we graphed everything.
And what did you graph?
We graphed how much the cream in each cookie weighed.
So the data you collected from science you did in math. Okay. Can you think of anything that would be not be good from an integrated math and science class? What would be problems that might occur?
It might confuse you a little bit.
Okay. Like in how? How would that confuse you?
Like you told us in science we need to use decimals, in math we kind of need to use fractions more.
Very good. That's confusing. Miss Doty likes fractions and Miss Bonine doesn't. What other ways do you think that it could be kind of confusing?
When we're adding up decimals and stuff like that.
Okay.
When we use the calculator, it kind of confuses you with all the extra numbers.
Okay, that was kind of confusing. Okay. Can you think of any jobs you might have that would use both science and math?
Engineering.
Engineering, okay. What else? Give me some more examples.
Like sometimes veterinarians need to use math.
Very good. I like that one. That's a good example. One of Miss Bonine's favorites. Okay. And so what other problems do you think there could be that would come up with integrating science and math?
There might be a problem with when we're measuring things like in grams and kilograms, using all that might confuse you.
And then because y'all may use pounds in math. Okay. Can you, I forgot my question. I just had it in my head. Okay. Well, you did a great job, Zoe. Thank you so much for answering those questions. You can go back to study hall.